As we get closer to the end of this particular section of the course on climate for kids, there are a few things you are already probably aware. If mom or dad keep telling you don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, and all day it feels like you are hearing that you cannot do many things, you may begin to feel a little bit frustrated. You have to be careful how you behave with your parents. But the same way, if we keep telling people don't eat meat, don't fly, don't eat hamburgers, ride your bicycles, don't walk, don't walk on the lawn and this and that. A lot of don't do this, don't do that will get people tired. But there is another part of it, which is that we do something. We said climate deniers are bad because they are ignoring science. They are, oil companies spreading fake messages about science and denying science and so on and so forth. But there is something called soft climate denial. What does that mean? That means you are constantly doing things that you know are bad for the environment, and you know that you don't need to do it. Let's say like eating too many hamburgers or flying around for no reason that you could have avoided, and maybe buying too many clothes. I mean, there are many things you could be doing that are completely unnecessary. So often people just ask themselves, what difference does it make? And they keep doing these things. So the idea is not to blame anybody for the things that are happening, but realize that we are all in this together, and that we can work together to save the planet and make it safer for you, because you're young and the future is yours, and you are the future, as I say, right? But you also have to have a fun future, and you should be excited about your future and not constantly worried that climate change is going to destroy everything. Okay, so the author says, what difference does it make? And that's how sometimes I think as I'm taking a nice hot shower. Do you really need to take such a hot shower? Can you reduce the temperature by 2 degrees? Do you need such a cold air conditioner, and then you are wearing a sweatshirt inside? Can you reduce the air conditioner or raise the temperature by a couple of degrees and reduce the energy use, and so on and so forth? So I come up with all kinds of excuses so that I don't have to leave the shower. It feels so nice, even though I know I'm wasting energy and water as well, and we already have green energy. It would be better if I didn't travel in I am messing this up. We already have green energy. It would be better if I didn't travel by plane just once for a change. Other people stay in the shower for much longer than me. I just turn down the heat. Factories use way more energy than we do. This book was printed in an environmentally friendly way. Let Shell and Porsche and China do more first. So we are always thinking, I'm not so bad for the environment. Also, look at all the other people. They should do something first, or they should do more first. At times like this, at moments like that, I'm kind of a climate denier too. I know very well that the temperature is rising, that the glaciers are melting, that the sea level is going up, and so on. And I also know that we need to change our behavior to make an impact. I need to change my behavior to make an impact. But the showers are so good, and I love long journeys, and I don't always want to eat veggie burgers. They don't really taste as fun, as tasty as the real burgers. It's easy for me to talk. I live 50 meters above sea level. My house isn't about to fall into the sea. I don't have any difficulty dealing with temperatures over 26 degrees. My plate won't be empty if the monsoon is late in India or somewhere else in Africa and so on. And I'm not that crazy about chocolate, and I won't live to see the 22nd century. That's like me. I don't even know if I'll see the next couple of decades, but my children might, and your children most likely will, because you're still young and you're growing up, and I'm sure your children will want to have a nice life too, without trouble with food and rising water levels and forest fires and storms and tropical diseases. They want to be just happy. For that reason alone, it makes sense to step out of that hot shower as quickly as possible and not keep the temperature so hot. Every minute that you shave off your shower time helps to combat global warming, just like every vacation you take closer to home as opposed to flying far away. Every time you put on a sweater instead of turning up the heat, or take off the sweater or sweatshirt instead of turning on the AC. Every day you wait before buying a new phone. Every board game instead of a video game, because video games use more energy, and every hamburger that you don't eat is going to reduce the emissions as well. But don't start feeling guilty if you leave the light on for once, or eat a sausage roll, or stay in the shower a little too long once in a while after you feel tired and so on. That's no fun, and you won't keep it up if you try to be perfect, because everybody gets tired of worrying about things forever. You will soon start thinking, forget about the climate, and that would be too bad. That would be too bad, because if you take a good look around, we're already doing pretty well in terms of our life, our food, our comforts, our cars. That whole it is, it isn't, oh yes it is, oh no it isn't argument is so outdated now. We need to get with reality. There's hardly anyone left who doubts the rapid warming of the earth is caused by humans, us, and who think that humans shouldn't do something about it. Everybody is aware, and they may be just pretending like they don't care, but you have to worry about your children and grandchildren. That's what everybody has to do. The big challenge is, of course, that we make a change. And the change in climate change began a long time ago. So now we are already running late on making change in our lives about the hot showers, the burgers, the flying around, and everything else. So are you with us? Are you going to join all the scientists and all the people about making a change? So here you are, young person, singing in the rain and using ocean blue soap, which is hopefully environmentally friendly, and maybe this bottle here is made from biodegradable material that actually disappears very quickly and not stay in the ground forever, and you're keeping the temperature as low as possible, and you're taking a shower as quickly as possible and not singing forever, right? So think about all those things, and then we'll maybe continue to the climate bingo in the next podcast, because we want to understand what we mean by that. Bingo is a game that is played in the US, also in some form in many other countries, where somebody is rolling a dice and calling out something, and you look at your board like this and you see whether your number came, and you keep filling, and then you have ways of completing diagonals, cross lines, the full house, and so on, and then you can win something. It's gambling, but it is done to raise funds for the church and so on and so forth. So talk to your parents about the climate bingo and see if they allow you to play it. But we'll come here and look at what we mean by the climate bingo. Okay, so it's a useful way to think about climate change and the various aspects of it, and then we'll look at some maybe key words that we all have to learn for climate change. You already went through many things, you already heard many things, maybe you remember most of the things. If not, you will listen to the podcast again, or go get the book and read the book, and so on and so forth. But we have to still catch the key words and see if we can remember them. Okay, see you quickly back with the climate bingo, kids.